What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I wanted to break down what's going on with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers, and break down some very important developments in the charts. Let me mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you are guaranteed 7 free stocks. An offer ends very soon in just about 3 weeks. Anyways, now let's break down what's happening to the market. SPY is on a very, very nice rip right now as we're breaking past that 516 resistance. Our next target is going to be all the way up to 518.5, which is where SPY got rejected from before. If that breaks, there's even more upside coming. So I'm going to break down what the levels are for SPY and what you should be watching for. Let me just go over a couple of things real quick. So as a reminder, today is Tuesday, May 7th, 2024. Please remember that at 10 o'clock a.m., we have the economic optimism report coming out. That is 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, by the way, 30 minutes after the market opens. So look for some volatility at that time. Then at 11:30 a.m., we have Cash Kari from the Fed giving a speech. Then we have the 42-day bill auction through the 3-year notes auction also coming out at 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we'll just have to see how things go. So I just want to make it very, very clear that Cash Kari, when he speaks, he is known for being a big hawk in the Fed. So we will see if this causes the market to kind of shift. So just be prepared. When he's hawkish, that means that he tends to be more stringent on policy, and he tends to be more strict, which does tend to cause the market to dip a bit when he speaks. So just be careful at 11:30 a.m. and also at 10 o'clock a.m. as we have the economic optimism report. Now for earnings, we just had Disney announce its earnings before the market is opened. After the market closes, we have Rivian, and later on we have Uber, ARM, and just a couple of others more. Now for Disney, let me make it very, very clear that when it comes to what they reported, revenue is at about $22.08 billion, with analysts expecting $22.14 billion, so a little bit below that. Their streams were not the strongest from what I saw. Operating profit was about $3.85 billion. That is above expectations, and guys is pretty good with 25% year-on-year growth in line with expectations. So pretty good earnings, except the revenue was a little bit short, and their streams were not the strongest, which is part of why the share price is reacting the way it is. But it is what it is. One big piece of news that came out for Tesla would be the fact that the U.S., which is referring to the NHTSA, is seeking information on Tesla from how it developed and verified whether autopilot, the recall they had worked. Now, let me just note that a recall for Tesla is not a conventional one. When they say recall, they're just referring to software updates for Tesla. That's different from your typical automotive recall. But basically, the NHTSA is investigating Tesla, and they want to find out more information. They gave an 18-page document to Tesla for them to give them more details about what ended up happening. And there was also news that came out about more layoffs potentially coming for Tesla, which is part of why the share price is down. So what's happening to the market right now? Let's now clarify these levels before I end up uploading this video in just a few minutes. So let me make it very clear that SPY is pushing right now. Watch 518.5 is resistance, followed by 520. We got rejected off each of these levels in the past, so I'm going to be looking at these imbalances. And if that breaks, we're looking at 521.5. So 3 resistance levels, 518.5, 520, and then 521.5 are 3 resistance levels to be watching for. For support, watch 516.8 to 516.5. If we lose that, look at 515.5. And if that fails, we're going to be dipping all the way down to about the 513 area. So in my opinion, SPY is bullish right now. It's trying to push higher, and we're likely to get to at least 518.5. So look for more upside, but watch the resistance levels there. And then at the next level, that's going to be very, very key for the way we end up moving. For Tesla has support at the 20 EMA. This is going to be at the 181 area. So we're going to be watching to see how this ends up moving. We have resistance at 182 and also at 184. If we lose 181, we're going to be looking at 180 and also at 178. So I'll be watching to see how the supports end up moving from here. As you guys can see, we are kind of testing this on Tesla. It might actually shuffle right here to 181. We could dip a little bit into the 180 area, but I think it's going to hold up because this is where we have this range. This entire week, Tesla's been range bound between 185 and 178, going back and forth many, many times. So to be bearish, you want to see it lose 178. To be bullish, you want to break 186. I think we're just going to remain in the range for now. We could dip a little bit and shuffle for a bit before we try to rebound. So watch for that very, very carefully. For Nvda, in my opinion, is trying to essentially uptrend. It's pretty interesting looking in my personal opinion. There is more upside potential, but look for a potential dip right here, a retest of like 908 or so before it tries to push its way back up. And we could be looking for a retest of about 920 in my personal opinion. We'll see if that breaks or not. So I do see a little bounce potentially coming. The QQQ, we're at resistance in this just under 441. If we break through this, 442.5 is going to be our next target. So look for 441 and 442.5. For support, watch 439. If we lose this, then we could be dipping a little bit. But in my personal opinion, I think that there is more upside potential with the QQQ, at least temporarily. Just be careful at 441 and then 442.5. We did reject off 442.5 historically. So I see it potentially pushing a bit more, but just be very, very mindful of the fact that we're approaching resistance and just be careful nonetheless. For Aapl, we're kind of range bound, and I did talk about this yesterday. Aapl has rebounded all the way up to about 184. Could go a little bit higher into the 184 range and kind of shuffle up here. But I think that what's going to happen is going to dip back down, come back up, and just go back and forth for some time before it determines its next direction. But for now, in my personal opinion, I think that Aapl is going to likely just shuffle in this range. We'll just give this some time nonetheless. For a few more out there, we have like Amazon trying to push higher. It could go all the way up to about 190. Still have that potential target in mind, and we'll see what happens from there. Meta could also go a little bit higher, at least as of right now. We're approaching our, in my personal opinion, the 471 area at our 200 EMA, and then we'll break and see how things end up moving from here. So for the VIX is still dipping. We haven't fully filled this gap. It's still actually making new lows right now. So the VIX has this gap to fill. By the time it fills this gap as it approaches the lower 13s, this kind of shows that the market has more upside potential for now. Market could push a little bit higher for the time being. It could still go higher and higher. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens, at least for now. There's no sign that the market is topping yet, but I want to warn everyone to just watch resistance just to be safe. So as we're pushing higher, my warning to everyone is that yes, the charts are bullish. Yes, SPY could go higher, Tesla could go higher. All these stocks do have potential to go higher in the future, but that does not necessarily mean that the trend will last forever, because when you pull up the daily on SPY, let me do this just real quick before I upload this video. We have a lot of gaps below to fill, right? It's not just going to blast off and go all the way up to 540 from here. It could go higher and higher, but we're going to be looking to see if we top very, very soon, and if we end up making the move back down. We do have these gaps below, so there's going to likely be a rejection coming in the future. Now, it's not happening right now, okay? Right now, the chart is bullish. It could go higher, but just know that we're going to top eventually somewhere, and we are going to be making our way down most likely, in my opinion. I don't know how high we're going to go, because there's more potential for this to go higher. There's no sign that we're done running yet. We could go up to like 518, 520, even in the 520s. It's possible, but I'm just trying to say that we are eventually going to get a rejection, come back down somewhere along the line. So we just have to wait and see where we end up topping. And that's why I always give you guys that warning about resistance. Watch resistance just to be safe, because we have all these different levels and all these different things going on. All right, so SPY could go higher. There's more upside potential for now, but always remember to watch your levels and to be very mindful of what I'm giving you, what warnings I'm giving you guys. All right, so with that being said, we'll wait and see how things go. Don't forget about the economic optimism report at 10 a.m. And then at 11:30 a.m., we have cash card from the Fed giving a speech. And we'll see what happens after that. Thank you for listening, guys. Have an absolutely incredible rest of the day. I'll see you guys very, very soon on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.